In this vlog, we will see how to use a secondary constructor in your Kotlin programming. So in our previous vlog, we have discussed regarding the class creation and its usage. And also in that particular tutorial, we have dealt with the primary constructor in Kotlin. So here is the code for our previous tutorial, and here you can see the student class is having this primary constructor. Followed the previous tutorial, I am providing the link in the description section below, may have a look once. So as we have discussed previously, we can specify a constructor. This is a primary constructor here. Unless you are not specifying any visibility modifiers like public, private or protected, internal, you need not specify this constructor keyword here. You can just omit it. So yes, in this particular tutorial now we will be dealing with how to specify a secondary constructor here. And also we have seen the default value declaration in our constructor. Here we have specified a variable result, and also we have specified a default value for it. In this particular tutorial we will be dealing with how to specify a secondary constructor in our class. And not only the secondary constructor, you can add as many number of constructors you want depending upon your application requirement here. So now let us start. Just I'm removing the code in the main method, and also I just don't want these parameters in my primary constructor, and also I'm removing the init block for now. We are having a simple class student with a variable name as a parameter here. Now let us try to add one more constructor here, so for which we need to specify the constructor. So here it will be considered as a secondary constructor in our class student here. So for which I will be having the same name, and also I will be adding roll number as the second parameter. So now still we are seeing an error here. Primary constructor call expected. So as we have discussed in Kotlin, we may have a secondary constructor and also a third, fourth, like these constructors we can keep on adding. But the main thing is that you need to make a call for your primary constructor from your secondary constructor here. So how we will make this is like, we will be specifying the primary constructor variable here. So we are having name. So we are calling our primary constructor while we are making use of our secondary constructor here. So now we have specified our primary constructor here. So as we are having only one variable in our constructor, so we are calling the same, and if you are having multiple, you may keep on adding them. So yes, now let us see how we will call this in our main method here. So student is our class, and inside which if you have specified the name, so this will refer to our primary constructor here, and if you add a roll number, then it will be reference to our secondary constructor here. So in the same way you can add multiple constructors, but that depends upon your requirement. Generally I don't think you require more constructors in your classes, but yes, if there is a requirement you may go ahead. I think you are clear so far. And one more thing what I want to specify here is, so inside the class when you want to make use of this primary constructor, we also specify an init block here. Here I want to print the value which I pass through my primary constructor here. So I just want to print the name is, and specify a dollar symbol and add the parameter name here. And now let us try to run this code and see the output. So here name is printed here. So this particular name we are passing while the object creation in our main method. So in the same way, I want to have the values which I pass in my secondary constructor also. So I am passing a roll number also, and I want to print them in our init block. So now let us try to see will it work. So I am just adding it after the secondary constructor here. So name is already there, and let us try to add a roll number also here. So you can see we are not able to find the roll number. We are not able to get the roll number variable inside our init block. So the init block is above the secondary constructor, but I have added it after the secondary constructor to let you know that the variables, the additional parameters which you have specified in the secondary constructor are not visible within your init block. So even the init block is declared before to the secondary constructor or after to the secondary constructor, the roll number will not be visible inside our init block. So here when you want to print the values, you can just use of a print statement here, and here name is, you can make use of the variables, and also here you can get the roll number here. So within the secondary constructor block you can make use of these particular things, and you can make use of them globally with specifying a global variables thereafter. So I think you are clear how we declare a primary constructor and secondary constructor, and what are the restrictions of a secondary constructor, that it is not accessible within the init block. And also I want to show you once the output also. Now let us consider this init block after the secondary constructor here, and you can see our secondary constructor is having a print statement, and our init block is also having a print statement here. And now let us try to run this code and see will the print statement inside the secondary constructor will come first or the init block will run first. So as here you can see name is Abhi, so this is our init block. So let's make sure we add print ln for both the conditions so that there will be no confusion for you. So here our init block is being printed first, and later our secondary constructor is being printed later. So here you can get a clarity why our secondary constructor variables are not accessible within our init block, because the init block is called as soon as the object is created for our class. The secondary constructor is called after the init block here. So this is also a reason for the secondary constructor variables to not be visible in the init block. So yes, this is it for this tutorial, and if you are having any queries, do let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this tutorial, do like, share and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content on Kotlin.